Okay, welcome back to the Odd Topic Podcast. I'm here at Powers Comics, episode number 58. I'm here with Eric. Say hello to the people.
Hey guys.
And I'm here with Dave, the owner.
Hello.
So, my first question for you is that, what got you guys into comics?
For me, I was probably 7 or 8. I have a cousin that's like a few years older than me, and I went over to his house one day, and I'd always liked superhero stuff, like cartoons and movies and stuff like that. But I'd never seen an actual comic until I went to his house, and he had like a big stack of them. I was like, oh damn, what's all this? So it just like blew my mind. And then he was also making his own comics at the same time.
Oh really?
Too. So then I started doing that, and I asked my mom if we could go buy some comics, and she's like, yeah, of course, because she was always cool about buying anything that had to do with reading. So yeah, I got hooked immediately. It was instantaneous.
Yeah. You know, like, what first comic book you ever got that you remember of?
Yeah, I know. I still have. So when I went to the comic store for the first time, they had a 4 for $1 box, and I still have those same 4. I'll never get rid of them. So yeah, Avengers 151 was the first one I pulled out of there.
Oh, okay.
Had a Kirby cover, and George Perez art in the inside. Yeah, still have
sick.
That one.
Yeah.
It's kind of beat up, but that was my first comic.
That is insane. What about you, Eric?
Well, as a kid who grew up in the 90s, X-Men was everywhere. I think everyone who knows me here knows how big of an X-Men fan I am. So
X-Men nerd.
So growing up with, the 90s cartoon, my brother also collected comics too, and he collected nothing but X-Men in the 90s. So kind of reading his hand-me-down, some of those X-Men books as well. That's what kind of got me interested in them. And then when I got a little bit older, my dad or my mom would take me to the card store, and I would pick up some comics here and there, some Superman, Ultimate Spider-Mans in the late 90s, early 2000s stuff there too. So, but mainly it was just X-Men mania in the 90s that really got me into that.
Yeah, okay. And like, how long have you guys been open?
We just had our 18-year anniversary in March.
That's insane.
So,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I worked at a comic store part-time in the early to mid-90s. So I had experience with selling comics, and then I got into retail management shortly after that with my full-time job, and I did that for a while, and then I was thinking, why am I running other people's businesses when I could run my own? So I talked to my wife, Kelly. I said, is it cool if I quit my job and open a comic store? Because I had a business plan made for a couple of years already at that point. She's like, yeah, as long as me and the kids don't suffer, do whatever you want. And so I just went for it. And it's worked out. I mean, this is our 3rd location, but we've been in this one for 15 years. So almost 50. Yeah, about 15 years, 14 years, something like that. Anyway, so it's been awesome. I mean, we started small, got bigger.
Yeah.
We really appreciate all our customers. Some people come and go, and some of them come back. It's one of those hobbies that, we meet a ton of people, and some people are here every week, and some people are more casual, and both are cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We're back. Yeah. And you don't just only have like comic book store. I heard that you have like a cat rescue too, like with your wife.
Yeah, Kelly started a cat rescue called Brewster's Place a little over 5 years ago. So we always have a couple of areas in the store where our customers will donate some of their stuff, or the store will donate product that we sell inexpensively, and all the money goes to the cat rescue. And
That's sick. Yeah.
She saved like 1,000 cats so far. So
wow.
So Powers has helped fund that a little bit too. I mean, Brewster's raises a ton of money on its own, but it doesn't hurt to have a little bit of help from our customers, and little sections here at the store where we can sell $5 trade paperbacks, make it nice and cheap for people, and then other random action figures or graded comics or whatever we have here. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, we're not the only animal rescuers in the house.
Yep. So I'm part of Lucky 7 Dog Rescue here.
Yeah.
As you come into the shop, I'm sure you've seen our first rescue girl, Mally, that my wife and I rescued almost 12 years ago here. But yeah, same thing with Dave. We're just been around for about 10 years now. It'll be our 10-year anniversary this year. They allow me to bring the dogs in here to help socialize. Very animal friendly. Customers can bring their pets in here too. We just want this to be a place where everyone's welcome, whether they're human, dog, cat. People want to bring a bird or a reptile in here too. We don't care, but
Yeah,
just
that's cool.
we're friendly. We're welcoming to everyone.
Yeah, that's really sick. It was like a cat rescue, like something that you guys always wanted to do, or was it just like a?
My wife Kelly wanted to do it for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just both always loved animals, so it just made sense to jump into that. So, yeah. So like I said, if people are coming in wondering why we're selling, cat beds and things like that, and cat toys and catnip, that's why.
Yeah.
That's the connection. So yeah, I mean, like Eric said, this Powers is welcoming to any type of people. We don't discriminate against anybody. We like all four-legged animals too. So
Yep.
Yeah. And like I think it's like the one thing that sucks about like a lot of people is that like a lot of people like neglect their dogs, like they keep them outside,
Right.
and that having like a cat rescue that people actually like care about that and like helps people out and everything. But
yeah, our customers have been great, helping both Kelly's Rescue, Brewster's Place, and then helping the one that Eric helps run, with Lucky Seven. The dog
When we say
rescue,
we have
so.
the best customers, we always truly do mean that.
Yeah.
Last year, our partners down in the south were affected by Hurricane Helene, due with flooding down in Tennessee. So we put a plea out not only to our rescue supporters, but also our customers here at Powers Comics, and did they show up providing food, beds, towels, blankets, paper products, and just drinking water for them down there too.
that's awesome.
So,
Yep.
yeah, we say we have the best customers. We do mean it.
Yeah.
That is really sick. So like the next topic I got for you guys is like how you guys gonna prepare for like the NFL draft coming here in like a couple weeks. I think it might be even a week away, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a week
Yeah.
It's a week away from today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those not familiar with where our store is, this is technically Ashwaubenon, which is a suburb of Green Bay.
Yeah.
But we're only a couple blocks within that. But Lambeau Field is 3 blocks away from us. So we're right in the heart of the NFL draft. And even if you're not a sports fan, I'm sure people have seen video of how many people show up at the draft. I mean, it typically draws like 150 to 200,000 people a day
Yeah.
in one small spot.
It's
And
insane.
and we're 3 blocks from that small spot. So we've been prepping for it for weeks, maybe a couple months. We're anticipating being busy. We have extended hours all next week. We're open Monday, which we're normally not. We're going to be open at 9 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
We also have a food truck coming. High Caliber is going to be here. It's barbecue truck on Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
Torzala Brewing Company out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, is going to be here Thursday through Saturday. And the main reason for that is because Gilbert Brown, former Packers Super Bowl champ, is going to be here for a signing.
That's insane.
Yeah, a couple of his friends will probably be here signing too. We just haven't announced who yet, but he'll be here for sure Friday and Saturday, in the morning and afternoon. Friday and the afternoon on Saturday, because he has his own beer through Torzala. So
What?
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh.
It's called Grave Digging. So yeah, we'll be. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a big festival, big party. We'll have spots reserved for people that want to drive up, and shop. You can still come in and shop here during the draft. We'll close a little early Thursday and Friday, but yeah, we've been stocking the store like as much as we can over the last few weeks.
Getting new graphic novels in, some of the staples, pricing back issues, just kind of get more product out, action figures, pops, all that stuff. We try to been prepping, so who knows, you might come in, you might see something you haven't seen here before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there could be some famous people popping in here. If you're a comic collector, if you're like the rest of us, when you travel, you look for the local comic stores.
Exactly.
I even do that. Even
Yeah.
when I go in a store, I'm like, I want to see all the local comic stores I can anytime I travel. So, because we're all different. There's no like national chains. So anytime you go to a comic store, you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have fans from 32 different teams all over the country here. So we're fully expecting all different types of comic collectors, whether they collect, old, really high-end stuff or just brand new stuff that they're looking for. We're anticipating getting all kinds of people, and we're excited about that. We love meeting customers from all over the place. Yeah, because when there's a Packers home game, we meet people from every part of the country and different countries. Like,
It's insane.
England and Sweden and Italy and wherever else they come from.
Yep.
So it's always cool. It's always cool.
It's really. How many people do you think that might actually come here, like for the draft? I think maybe even like 500K. Honestly, if last year was 700,000, I think it might be 500K.
Yeah, that was the total over the 3 days.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could have been, 200,000 of the same people each day or whatever. It's hard to say. The numbers are all over the place. But we're ready for it. We're ready to be busy. Like I said, we've been stocking all kinds of stuff. And, like I said, it's always fun having people come in and see something that they can't find in their local comic store. Because some people don't like to shop online; they like to shop in person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like for like the next topic I got is I want to know like your guys' favorite like comic book artists. Eric, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
There's a lot of different artists that I do like. As far as cover artists go, she's a store favorite here. Has been here a couple times. Her name is Jenny Frizen. I got to meet her a couple years ago at C2E2.
Okay.
And this goes in hand with me being a big X-Men fan, Psylocke being one of my favorite characters. It is a astonishing Ant-Man variant that she did, graded at a 9.8 that I got to meet her. But her art style is just
insane.
Super realistic. Just everything she does just looks amazing, whether she's drawing Marvel, DC, she's drawing Creature from the Black Lagoon, Dracula, The Mummy. She's done some Universal Monster stuff. No matter what she does, she always just makes it her own, and it always looks so good.
That is crazy.
And then back to the dog topic, there was a there was a comic a couple years ago by Image Comics called Stray Dogs, which was like 101 Dalmatians art style meets Psycho or a horror story, and they had it where you could send in a blank cover with a picture of your dogs.
That's really cute.
So that is my boy Finn right there, drawn on a comic book cover.
Yeah.
And then I also have my girl Barry on there as well too. So, but I'm just a huge fan of cover artists, interior artists. I like discovering new artists. So if you ask me my favorite artist, it might change from day to day, week to week. But right here are some of my favorite art that I have.
That is really awesome. What do you got today? What do you say?
I mean, I've been collecting for a long time, and I do appreciate comics and art from every decade. So I collect Golden Age comics too. So that's stuff from, like the 40s and 50s. So I like some of the artists from back then. But as far as contemporary artists, my favorite one is Paul Pope. He's based out of New York. He just does a lot of indie stuff. He hasn't done much like big mainstream stuff. He did a Batman story called Batman Year 100, which was pretty awesome. But actually, my big thing too is I like to collect the original art that they actually draw. Like the actual page that they draw on.
Oh, okay.
Comics.
Yeah.
So those are all one of a kind. That's my favorite thing to collect, even more so than the comics themselves. Or I get sketches done by people, kind of like what Eric had with his sketch covers. But you can just have an artist commission a sketch. You can commission a sketch from them. So it's again one of a kind. But yeah, like Paul Pope. I actually have a page from that Batman Year 100.
Oh
and
my God!
A little bigger than most. I don't know if you want to hold this.
Yeah, you want to hold that up, Andrew?
So that's that's got. So most artists draw on 11 by 17 size paper, but Paul draws on a larger size. But that's Commissioner Gordon on there. Those pages aren't cheap; they're very hard to get. So that's one of them.
That is crazy.
This is an example. This is like an 11 by 17. That's a Swamp Thing page that has John Constantine on it.
You need to bring it up.
Yeah, it's Mike Perkins. He's a fantastic artist. He does a lot of
There we
stuff
go.
for DC in particular.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then just to show another example of another style of art. That's actually that's actually a page from a Winter Soldier story. So
Oh
that one is
wow.
actually colored. Now most of the time the coloring is done after, and then the backside I've got a Tula Lote original page too. So those are some of the artists will do, like actually have color or some of these other types of styles that they do.
Wow.
But yeah, that's my favorite thing to do is to collect the original art.
Yeah, that is insane.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sounds expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with them being one of one.
Yeah.
That's the only one that exists. So it's.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It's not a cheap hobby. Yeah, I have some covers as well. Covers get really expensive if you want to get into that realm. Like I've got a really cool Kevin Nolan Star Wars cover from the Obi-Wan an Anakin story, and then a few other covers too. But we have a Wonder Woman cover. Actually, Kelly collects Wonder Woman art too.
Really?
But yeah, she has a Jenny Frison Wonder Woman cover hanging in our living room. So.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Yep. Man. Andrew, you want to show off yours? Your comic real quick?
What you got?
This is my Spider-Girl. What if?
It's like the I
Of
think
course, yeah.
first appearance of Spider-Girl. Yeah.
It's a harder book to find. You don't see that one come along.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I should have brought my Ahsoka Dark Sith.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's insane.
And then as far as like my grails go too, I was so excited about the art. First Juggernaut.
That is crazy.
Right there too. One of my favorite books that I have in my collection. One of the earliest X-Men that I have there. First Juggernaut, one of my favorites.
Yeah. That is freaking crazy, man. Wait, you could like show it like one more time real quick. Yo. He's been in like I think like 2-3 movies now, I'd say. Juggernaut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in Deadpool.
Last Stand, from the 2000s, and then he was in the first Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
Eric's picking away at all the X-Men.
Yeah.
This is your Grail X-Men 1, Eric?
Yep. Working on X-Men 1. So.
All right. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we all have those. So I
Yeah.
mean, my Grail, like for a long time before I owned a store, was just a collector.
Mm-hmm.
Was when I was a kid, Iron Man was my favorite character from that Avengers comic I was talking about. He was my favorite, and he wasn't popular in the 80s like he is now because of the movies. But yeah, I've got a couple copies, but this one I just got back from getting graded. So that's Tales of Suspense 39. That's Iron Man's first appearance. I actually have one that's better that I need to get graded, but this is the 3.0, so not bad. It's kinda cool. So yeah, that was one I wanted for a long time. So that was a cool one.
That's
and then, like I was talking about, I like Golden Age comics, so this is the earliest Captain America I have. That's a number 9.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
And what's the year on that one?
That was 1941.
Damn.
So, yeah. Yeah, so that's a pretty cool one.
What?
So I have a lot of Golden Age stuff like that. Earliest Batman. Batman's was always my other second favorite character besides Iron Man, but that's a Batman number 2. So yeah, that one's from 1940.
Wow.
Yeah, so I love the Golden Age stuff like this. I think it's really, really cool. So that's just a couple, things that I have out of many old books. So,
man, holy crap, just popping out like crazy. Yeah, it's just like a light, like freaking grand right there.
Yeah, more than that, but yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's
Can't
insane.
complain. So yeah.
And today I brought like one of my comics. It's like it's a signed like Rob Liefeld Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
Looks insane. I just got it actually like the other day.
Yeah.
And like even comes with like the certificate and everything on the
Mhm.
back.
Yeah.
If you guys could see. Yeah. Yeah, and like it's like a variant.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 300 in the world.
Oh
You
yeah.
guys can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice that green he used really, I think, complements
Yeah.
that color, so no, it looks nice.
Yeah. And I think it came out like last year. I think the Deadpool team up once. I think
Mhm.
that's what you were saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
Before.
It was a series that came out last year.
Yep.
Yeah. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been popping off a lot lately in the movies, but
Yeah.
it's really
Absolutely.
crazy.
Cool.
And like another one of the big events that you guys have coming up, I think next month I believe is a free comic book day. Yeah, the 3rd, the first Saturday in May, right?
Yep.
Correct.
Right after the draft, we get right into prepping for free comic book day, so we
Yeah.
spend that weekend, and then we keep rolling and getting ready for that day.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with Free Comic Day, it's a national event. It started at a store in California. I think it was 2001. It was the year that the first Spider-Man movie came out with Tobey Maguire.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the longtime comic store owners had the idea of, hey, there's all this national press around this movie coming out. Why don't we take advantage of that and get comics into people's hands? So
Mhm.
he talked to somebody at Marvel, and they came up with the concept of Free Comic Book Day. So they made a Spider-Man comic that was literally to give out. Store owners would just pay a small amount for each book, and it just kept going. So now every year there's 50 to 60 different comics that are free
Wow.
from all the publishers. Every store can handle it on their own. Some stores choose not to participate. I don't know why.
Yeah.
yeah, we spend money on the free comics to give out, but it's our busiest day of the year. We typically get over 1,000 people through the doors that day.
Jeez.
So for us, we're open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. May 3rd. Everyone that comes in is guaranteed to get 3 free comics. That's how we do it. Is
Okay.
Everyone can pick 3. There's stuff for all ages. There's stuff for adults. There's stuff for everybody in between. But they're exclusive books made for that day. So like this is an example of the Spider-Man book.
Okay.
Coming out that day, and you can see at the top it says Free Comic Book Day on it. There's Mark Spear's Monsters is another example.
Okay.
He's like the hottest comic artist probably right now in the industry.
Jeez.
The dude is just smoking hot right now. Anything he does is just crazy.
Wow.
Stuff like Conan. There's a Street Fighters
Okay.
comic. There's just a little bit of everything for people.
Mega Man.
Mega Man. There's a Minecraft comic too.
Really?
Minecraft one coming out.
Gargoyles. I mean, they
What?
make. There's so many different things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you're not local, check to see if there's a comic store doing Free Comic Book Day in your area. We also do like 25% off sale, so people can get a discount and stuff if they choose to buy things. But we don't make them feel like they have to buy anything. You literally can come in, grab the free comics, and go.
Yep.
It's just about getting comics in people's hands, whether it's for the first time or it's been a long time since they've had one, or getting people that already collect to try a different series that maybe they wouldn't have. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's always a comic for everybody.
Yeah,
no matter what, yeah.
absolutely. I totally agree with that. I mean,
People
yeah.
sometimes think there's only superhero comics. They make comics for everything: crime, noir, romance. I mean, there's
sci-fi.
It's
sci-fi.
insane,
It's
yeah.
not superhero anymore.
Yeah, I mean, Eric's seen it. He's worked here long enough that we get people in the store and they actually look around and ask questions. They find out there's something for them here. If you can read, there's a comic here for you.
Yeah, and you guys even sell like collectibles and stuff. I see that you guys sell like Funko Pops when we came in here. You got like
We sell a lot of Hot Toys.
Yeah.
There's the 6-scale figures. Those are
posters.
great.
Yeah.
Yep, we have new posters, vintage posters. We have signed art prints from some famous comic creators. Yeah, and we buy old comic collections all the time, so our stock is constantly changing. I think we have more back issues out than most comic stores do. I don't even remember the number.
Yeah, I know you counted the other week or two, but that was
It's
a
2
long
or
time
3,
ago.
close to 288 long boxes out at a time, something like that. But anyway, yeah, there's always a lot here.
Yeah. What would you guys say is like the most popular like I don't know, I wouldn't say franchise, but like would you say like DC or like Marvel's more popular here? In your opinions?
I think it shifts.
It shifts?
Don't you think?
Yeah, it's kind of the ebb and flow. Like what's popular at each right now, like or who's in charge or who's writing this book or that book. So last year, the Ultimate line dropped, or a year and a half ago, with the new Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Black Panther, Ultimate X-Men. That really brought a lot of people to there. And then DC 6 months ago dropped the Absolute line, which is kind of like almost something similar, brand new universe, great jumping on point. And I would probably say those two are about even right now. Bringing new people in, people off the streets. People are coming in saying, I just saw that on TikTok, or I just saw someone talk about that online, or my friend has it. And then even going farther into the independent side of it, Robert Kirkman, who created Invincible, which we have the Invincible comics if you're liking the show.
Yeah.
Created Invincible, bought the rights to G.I. Joe Transformers, created a shared universe between the two, and has just blown up. It's just incredibly popular.
Yeah, so I mean, here it definitely changes all the time. I mean, from the day we opened, I mean, Batman's typically been like the main Batman book has typically been like it's probably been our best-selling book, like on a regular basis. But that definitely changes. Like when Eastman and Laird created the Last Ronin for Ninja Turtles.
That was insane.
A few years ago. That was our best-selling book in quite a while. Yeah, that's not Marvel or DC.
Yeah.
So that book still slays. Like with the hardcover sales and stuff, we sell tons of them. Like Eric mentioned, Invincible. Walking Dead was my best-selling trade paperback for the first probably 12 to 13 years I was open.
Wow.
By far, it blew away any Marvel or DC trade that we sold. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that sells here. It's not just Marvel and DC, but it does shift, like Eric said, depending on who the creators are, like who's writing and drawing it, if the storyline's good or not. I mean, for a while, Marvel was beating out our DC sales by quite a bit, but that's definitely not the case anymore.
Yeah.
Our DC sales are pretty high right now. So
That's crazy. What would you say is like the most like expensive book you had like in the store? that you can recall of.
In the store,
Yeah, that you guys ever had.
I think what did we sell? Oh, probably the Hulk 181. We had a high grade one that we sold for 10 grand.
Wow, 10 grand is insane.
In the store. There's other stuff that we've sold in auction outside of the store. That was more, but that's the biggest one in store that we've sold.
Crap.
Yeah, so we do get stuff like that sometimes too. That's 1,000 to 10,000. That stuff doesn't even usually hit the shelf though.
Yeah.
You know people that want it before.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
reach out. We know someone who's been looking for a book for a while, and we'll reach out, and they don't even hesitate. They'll say, "Yep, we'll take that." So
Yeah, if you get like an
Wow.
Avengers 1, there's always people that want it, or a Captain America 4, or a Batman issue under 100. There's people that want all that stuff. So it's usually gone. We just show it to them like, "Hey, do you want this?" And like, "Yep." So
Yeah.
Without hesitation.
that stuff is
Yeah.
so hard to come by that a lot of those collectors, when they see it, they are picking that up because it's not a like, "Oh, I'll maybe get that later." It's that's probably their only opportunity to actually get that book, because that stuff is not just here but out in the wild. That stuff is just drying up. People are holding on to that. People aren't selling that. More people are getting into collecting, so those books aren't out there as much.
I agree. Yeah, it's kind of nuts. People assume that sometimes that we don't have that stuff ever. But the problem is we get it and it's gone.
Yeah.
That's part of it. So.
Like you guys were saying that your Amazing Spider-Man ones are just gone, like just like that.
Yeah, again, going back to the beginning of the store,
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man and Batman have been our best-selling back issues. So those two titles have always crushed everything else. X-Men's up there too. That's in the top 3.
Yeah.
It's probably X-Men, Batman, and Amazing Spider-Man. Those are the 3
That's
that
crazy.
we can't keep in stock if we're lucky enough to get. So.
Yeah. Oh, what would you guys say is your advice to the world that you can think of off the top of your head?
I would say, just do good in the world to people, and I would say don't expect anything back. Like, if you're a good person, good things are going to happen to you in life. Dave and I are both, we're both involved in animal rescue. We're both willing to help out our friends, customers, and we just do that because we don't, we want to give back to our community. And when you do good things are going to happen to you in that future. You are the energy. I firmly believe that you are the energy that you give out, or you get that back.
Yeah. Pretty valid. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my wife Kelly and I have always tried to help whoever we can. We don't discriminate against people. We don't care if people are, black, white, red, green,
Yeah.
trans, straight, gay. We don't care. We want everyone to come in here. Comic books are escapism. If you're having a rough day, a rough week, rough month, rough life, hopefully comics can help, get you out of that bad space and into a good one. So yeah, we just want everyone to come in and enjoy life, and like Eric said, help others.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a store when I first got back into comics. It is very overwhelming, especially if you've come in here before, and you don't know what you're looking for. It's been maybe 5 or 6 years, and we try to just ask questions like, well, what do you like? We try to help people, point people, show them around. But Dave was really helpful for me. He's like, oh, this just came out. This just came out again too. But we don't want to turn people away. Some people I think are afraid to come in here because they think that they'll, the old stereotype of the comic book store owner that's going to be like, well, you don't know this, you don't know that. But no, we want everyone to come in here. We want to help everyone out, especially if it's their first time in here. Those are my favorite people to talk to because I get to see what they like, what they don't like, help them try to find something that they might enjoy, and then watching them come back in is really awesome because they liked it that much. They want to get more.
Like I was bringing in my other friend, like our friend Colin over here. We brought him in because he's a big like Star Wars fan. I was talking to you about him, and like he was trying to find like a one with like General Grievous on it or something.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But yeah, and now he's like hooked to it. He's obsessed with comics now. Yeah.
It's paper crack.
That's
That's what we call it.
Yeah.
Paper crack.
It's crazy. But like, is there anything else you guys want to add?
I don't think so. Like Eric said, if you have any interests, come in here, and don't feel stupid. We don't claim to know everything about comics.
Yeah.
I mean, we get stumped sometimes by questions, so we never want people to feel intimidated. And just come in and ask us a question or give us a call, shoot us a message on Facebook. We'll help you out.
Yeah. And, what street are we on so we could like tell everybody, where to visit?
2180 South Ridge Road.
Okay, come see him for free comic book day, And if any you guys,
Money.
yeah, spend some money, bro.
Got plenty of stuff to do that with.
Yep.
But yeah, well, thank you guys for being on the podcast. Truly
Yeah,
is an
thank you
honor.
for coming out.
Yeah, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.